the new VISI cover with my different patterns for my master's body of work, what you want whenever you want it. I wanted to do a project that sort of described like a cultural, like the tempo of what it is to be like young in Cape Town. It was actually quite a personal thing in a way, because I think that it all sort of combined all of my personal interests. So whether it was like online dating, fashion, music, or travel, I try to combine all those things to sort of make a body of interesting collage work. I started making little books when I was a kid, where I would collage different things. And my mom worked in a fabric store. I would just sort of go with her to work, and I'd be fascinated by all these different textures, colors, and it always sort of stuck with me. So then I decided on felt, because you could, it's easy to cut, and you can sort of work with it in all different sorts of scales. Like I work on quite a big scale. And I started making very small collages when I was in my 4th year. And then once I sort of figured out how to make it on a certain scale, I put it on a much bigger scale. All of the colors and folds are like readily available in the shop, so I quite like that I only could work within specific boundaries. I decided to hand applique everything, so every part of my collage is hand stuck and considered, so nothing's just like mechanical, everything's sort of handmade. So I basically decided to do 2 different versions of a collage, which one of the patterns and the other are the text collages. And the textual collages sort of work with like cliches and advertising. They still are the fashion references. I quite like the different patterns I'd see inside of like really good handbags. I mean, I've got a lot of my inspiration from fashion print, so I looked at it quite extensively and developed my own prints. And you know, it was always going to be fashion design or art, so I was quite excited to, there was always this part of me that felt like I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing when I was at varsity. I always thought I'm going to be forced into having this art career, which is maybe not entirely me. So it was such a relief, like in a way, when I met Keith. He founded a brand called Adrian Caters 3 years ago. He's a designer, but industrial designer turned fashion designer. I mean, we share a studio, and we eventually decided, in the middle of making my master's body of work, to do this collaboration. At first it entailed designing textiles, my part of it, and he designed the silhouette, and then we soon realized that actually we'd like to just be involved with both things equally. And it's quite great because he gives me like equal amount of control, creative control on everything that gets our label put into. For Cape Town Art Fair, I'm making 2 textual collages. I call them posters because they sort of have text and image on them. This one behind me is actually, it's called Metropolitan City Man. I sort of got the idea for the poster when I was watching Woody Allen film, the Blue Jasmine film. And she's sort of seeing this guy who's this Wall Street crook, and I was quite fascinated by this guy and sort of created an identity for this guy in making this poster. Yeah, essentially the body of work was actually just about collage, about bringing surfaces together to make a new totality. So whether I was working with text, pattern, image, it was all sourced from like different mediums of contemporary culture and brought it together to say something new. Buy it.